Hello, everybody. We are here for NBA 10-19-22, day 2 of the NBA slate. It's crazy. It went from having a 2-game slate to now having and being slam packed with a 12-gamer, which is going to be very different in regards to how we just kind of address and handle this slate. Should be interesting though. Sup, Chilo? Good to see you. Should be interesting though. Before we get into today's slate, though, I do want to touch base and congratulate. I can't say this guy's name for the life of me. It's MTZ Dallas fan. I'm probably totally missing what that stands for. But congrats, man. $51,000. Fantastic lineup. Nice, man. You doubled your profit. Chilo. DFS Army had a fantastic day yesterday. I think we hit on I hit on a lot of takes as well. Like we were on Brogdon, we were on Nunn, we were on James. Pretty much everybody was on Tatum but me. We were on Embiid, we were on Maxey. Smart made his way in there as well. So did JaMychal Green. I think JaMychal Green was really the surprise and the guy you needed for this lineup to make it in the first place. He's definitely someone that you had to take a risk on. Like we said yesterday, like we definitely had our guys that we liked, but you had to take your own risk. That's what Dallas fan did, and now he's $50,000 more rich, which is awesome for him. Hopefully we can have some more guys take down some contests tonight. And it's just nice to be back in the NBA world and dynamic and mindset and frame. And even with that JaMychal Green piece, it really highlights how important it is that we remember that this is a new season. There's new coaches, there's new players on new teams, and these rotations are going to be frustrating. We're going to have some surprises here and there, and you have to be prepared for those surprises and just kind of know they're coming and be willing to take a few more risks, knowing that that upside is there, and that the unknown is definitely plausible and more plausible early on in the season. So let's do a quick run through of today's slate. Again, I'll recommend to people who are not DFS Army members, please sign up. I have the website link and all that information in the description. I can also put it up here. I'll figure that out here soon. So you can just click on it. But definitely do sign up for us here at DFS Army. We're taking down contests and we're giving out really good information. I definitely recommend you join the pre-lock show. Our cheat sheets are next to none with the rest of the industry. We are giving out winning formulas. And also, we were on a lot of great plays towards the end of right before lock. We were on Brogdon. We were on James Harden. A lot of us were on Tatum. Like, there's definitely reasons to join because you're getting that information that you're just not getting elsewhere. So definitely, like I said, join the website, like and subscribe to this channel so you can keep getting this content when we do have the free content. So definitely recommend doing that as well. So yeah, let's jump into this slate. I'm thinking we go position by position, but I am flexible in the future to maybe going game by game and getting a breakdown that way. What I like to do when looking at a new slate, I like to sort by salary and just kind of see, hey, who's popular so far? Like, who are the go-to guys for the rest of the field? And up top, that is. And right off the back, we see that it is Nikola Jokic. The Joker is going to be the most popular high spend up option with Luka Doncic right beneath him. And I mean, the Joker is always a strong play. Those guys who followed DFS Army last year, you guys know that I love Nikola Jokic. This year is going to be a little bit different for him. But let's see. they're facing a Jazz team that we really don't know what to expect from them. And also, I know Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., they're coming back. So Jokic is going to be an interesting case study this year. I'm interested in just being watchful of, just because we really don't know what to expect from his usage and things of that sort as well. So definitely someone to keep an eye on. I always want to play Joker, but as you can tell, I'm kind of on the fence right now. I think it might make more sense just to kind of take some shots on some of these cheaper high-end spend up options. So take a deeper look at them. Like you see Karl Anthony Towns facing the Thunder. Cat is another situation we'll need to dig into a little bit more today. I know he was sick for a while. He was bedridden. So he might not get his full complement of minutes. So those are things that we need to be thoughtful of as well. The next thing I like to do after just kind of seeing who's popular and who's not up top is just sorting by ownership. And just kind of right away seeing, okay, these are the popular plays. And usually that also answers the question of like, hey, who's the go-to value of the slate when kind of using the domination station? And we see the Spurs are really popping. So you have guys like Devin Vassell, Trey Jones, Keldon Johnson. Like it seems like people are really focusing on that game. For good reason, I'm sure. Let me dig deeper into some of my notes and just refresh on what's going on with the Spurs. Okay. Yeah. Everyone knows that the Spurs are really trying to not win. They're trying to tank to get that first round, that first pick. So, I mean, I think we know that just a lot of these cheap guys are going to see minutes, and so it just makes sense to play them. After I kind of find the popular plays, you can then sort by points of $1 and then find the true value plays on the slate. And we're sorting by point guard right now just because typically I like to kind of see who the cheap point guards are going to be just because they're the ball handlers. They're the ones who are going to see the ball the most. So I'm typically more willing to pay for value at the point guard position, but that's just me. And so just kind of walking through this, we see, like we discussed, Luka facing the Suns being very, very popular, which is weird because the total isn't even that high on that game, too. I mean, I guess it's just Luka being Luka, and that's why people are spending up for him. I think this ownership is going to balance out a little bit more as the slate starts to, as they get closer to lock. Nice, man. Free entry to $45. Yeah, that's a hell of a ROI. It's nice, but yeah, the Horford fade is what we all kind of missed on. If we didn't do that, I think a lot of us would have made a lot more money because we hit on so many other calls. Okay, let's see who else kind of stands out. We see Trae Young and DeJounte Murray facing the Rockets. This is another situation of a new player joining a new team where we really have to figure out what that rotation and what that usage is going to be like. Who's going to be the shot taker? Who's going to be the passer? Those are the situations that we need to know. And you want to play the one that's taking shots. Yeah. I think Horford killed all of us. The funny thing is, Horford was actually, I think he's probably in one of the top 10 lines, if not one of the top 20. So you still could have had a good night. It just made it a lot harder. I appreciate you, Scott, man. The pre-lock show will be at 5:30. It's from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. and it's only for DFS Army members. Definitely a show where we've had a bit more time to kind of like dig into this information, figure out who we're going to actually play, dig into some of the news, get more information. That pre-lock show is really when we are able to make our strong calls. This show is more of like our walkthrough, talking through tournament strategy, things of that sort. So moving back to it, focusing on the point guard position, I really do want to figure out what's happening with Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. That's interesting. Looking down a little bit, I think Tyrese Halliburton is someone that definitely stands out. D'Angelo Russell is someone I'm interested in this year just in general, just because with Patrick Beverly gone, I think he sees a few more minutes. And if not minutes, I think his usage should go up a little bit as well. So I'm just interested in seeing what happens there. Uh, of course, we all want to know what's going on with Ben Simmons. I don't think he's in play. We just really don't know what that situation is going to look like, especially after not playing a game last year. He did play in the preseason, though. So definitely another situation to keep an eye out on. CJ McCollum's going to be pretty popular today. I think the Pelicans in general, people are pretty high on so far. And I think once you get in the $7,000 to $6,000 range, this is like the nice mid, like the 7,200 of Tyrese Halliburton all the way to 6,000 with Tyler Hero. This is like your mid-range, your balanced builds. Someone like Jalen Brunson joining the Knicks first time. We really don't know what usage is going to look like there, but we know that the intention should be for him to get a lot of usage and have a lot of minutes, because I think they want him to be the star of that team. So he's someone that definitely has some upside. As we go lower, there's definitely still a ton of options at the guard position, which is interesting. But just remember, the lower in price we go, the more risk is involved. And it's just really going to, the minutes and the rotations are going to be a lot more volatile with these cheaper plays. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're doing your research today, and kind of going through things from that standpoint and perspective. All right, we know Devin Vassal's very popular today for good reason. Terry Rozier is up next. Terry is going to be a fantastic play today. LaMelo Ball is out still, I believe, and Miles Bridges is out still, and his price is $7,300. He should have a ton of usage on this team, and I'm excited to see what the Hornets do. And they're facing the Spurs, who are typically pretty average from a defensive standpoint, and so definitely a nice matchup for them. Is the DFS NBA show worth it? New to NBA fantasy and heard you are a dog at NBA fantasy. Do you have what favorite plays and stuff? Yeah, like with the pre-lock show, I definitely recommend signing up with DFS Army to join us with that pre-lock show, just because we give like the favorite best play, like fades that we're on, things of that sort. And sometimes I'll have guests that join me for that show as well. So yeah, definitely recommend it. And then also, if you become a member, you can also just look at the cheat sheet and see some of the information that other coaches are giving, who are really good as well. So I definitely recommend doing that. But yeah, Terry Rozier is a play that I know I will be over the field on. I just can't think of any reason to fade him at this point. Other plays that stand out. Anyone that stands out as like an automatic fade? For me, I'm not going to share any fades on this show. I can't. None come to mind, but I also don't want to share too much anyway, even if one did. Yeah, and so I think with the shooting guard position this week, I'm going to be very heavy Rozier. I think some of these other situations, like Josh Hart, is definitely interesting being in Portland. Hero for his price. There's definitely some other ways we can go at the guard position, but I think we're already kind of seeing how it's going to shape out with people really wanting to play the Rockets and the Spurs. Now, when we get to the forward spot, small forward, we see the Spurs and Portland continue to pop up a lot. Which, for me, whenever I see teams pop, I constantly ask myself, is that the smartest play? Is that what everyone else is doing? And is that a spot we're going to get leverage on by going well over the field on the Spurs? Or are we going to fade it? And just like the more we see it, the more I'm like, okay, we might want to fade some of these spots a little bit. We also see the Hornets popping still, all for good reason. They just have a lot of guys out. The scary thing about the Hornets, though, especially Gordon Hayward and Kelly Oubre a little bit, They're just both very injury prone. So you just gotta. I wouldn't do anything with that, but it's just something to remember that there's risk involved there. Kevin Durant is standing out against the Pelicans at 7% ownership. Like, he's someone I would want to consider as well. Matchup isn't the easiest going up against the Pelicans. They typically play at a slower pace, but I think in the playoffs they sped up a little bit last year, so that's worth looking into. Kevin Durant is interesting here. Outside of that, not seeing too much. I don't think anything's really going overlooked there at the small forward position. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Power forward position, again, a lot of the same. We'll see Lauri Markkanen, who's now with the Utah Jazz. He's someone who was with he's someone who, with this new team, he's going to see a lot more usage. For me personally, I like attacking guys who are in new positions, but we simply don't know exactly. They're going to new teams, and on that new team, we don't know who's going to be the star. There aren't really a lot of star options, and that's the case with the Utah Jazz. I think Lauri Markkanen's probably one of the ideal, like, premier players. Like, I know with the Bulls, he was definitely able to have some ceiling games. I think he just was a little injury prone every now and then, so he wasn't on the court a ton. But I like his odds here. So as of right now, he's someone I want to at least match the field on. We'll see how we feel about that later. Evan Mobley, I feel like 5,900 could be a little bit too cheap for him. This needs to be a ceiling year for him, for really all of Cleveland to perform well. Kelly Olynyk is another player I like on the Jazz. And so I'm kind of glad the looks like the guards for the Jazz, like Mike Conley, they're not really popping, but the forwards are, which makes sense. Like, no Gobert, there's more rebounds and just more usage in the front court than there were previously. Cameron Johnson's a guy that I just like a lot this year. Picked him up a lot in best balls. And then walking through the center position, last but not least, again, we already talked about how Jokic is the most popular player. Podol is really popular for the Spurs. Pascal Siakam. We haven't talked about the Raptors a lot. The Raptors are a team that I think a lot of people are sleeping on. I would love to see them do well. For me personally, typically at the start of the season, they just have too many mouths to feed for me to like going too heavy on them, but we'll have a better look on that towards the end of the slate. Center position. The center position looks like it's a little top heavy, with like Jokic, Podol, and Siakam, and even like Bam at 20% as well. And then it really dies off, which is pretty normal for the center position. That's not abnormal or anything like that. It's just one spot for it. But I definitely do want to dig a little bit deeper into some of these guys like Rudy Gobert, Christian Wood, Kristaps Porzingis, who everyone hates playing, because everyone hates playing them. Like, it just makes sense to try to get their story a little bit and try to figure out if they are worth playing on today's slate at lower ownership. So yeah, that's typically my approach. Just at the start of a slate, at the start of a day, I just kind of go through, look at ownerships, look at general projections, look at salaries, and just try to get a good grip on, hey, what should my strategy be and what players do I want to focus on when I'm doing my research. So that's what I'm about to go do, guys. I'm about to go dig into some research and get ready for our pre-lock show later today at 5:30. If you guys don't have any more questions or concerns, but this is a big one. I definitely recommend checking out. I think DFS Madness did it today. But we have our full press court doing a walkthrough of every single game of this NBA slate that Madness DFS wrote up. So I definitely recommend checking that out. And once again, definitely recommend checking us out at 5:30 so we can help everyone out and win some money today. And again, congratulations to Dallas fan for a $50,000 win. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe and sign up for DFS Army. Outside of that, I'll check all of you guys out later. See you.